I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another feeding frenzy for the Master Key System. Oh yeah, I got it right.
Day.
And we're on part 1, day 29.
Okay.
As your GPS says, 29.
9.
Alright, this is a long one. You ready?
Alright.
The ability of the individual to think is his ability to act on the universal and bring it into manifestation. Human consciousness consists only in the ability of man to think. Mind, in itself, is believed to be a subtle form of static energy from which arises the activities called thought, which is the dynamic phase of mind. Mind is static energy, thought is dynamic energy, the two phases of the same thing. Thought is therefore the vibratory force formed by converting static mind into dynamic mind.
Wow.
If that wasn't
Scientific.
mindful.
Mindful. Wow, so what does that say to you?
Alright, so let's take this a little bit at a time. This is a little much to bite and chew in the same.
Okay.
Alright. The ability of the individual to think is his ability to act on the universal and bring it into manifestation.
No, I like that part.
Do you agree with that?
I do, because our thoughts turn into things. We've already talked about it.
Okay, so that one is easy enough.
Yeah.
Human consciousness consists only in the ability of man to think.
I get that too.
So you agree that we have this ability to create because we have a self-awareness and can work within the laws, but perhaps an animal or something else doesn't.
I think they do too, because they can think.
Do you think they have a self-awareness?
I do, to an extent. I don't think theirs is as great as ours. But there's a part of me that wants to think that some animals are higher consciousness.
No, I don't disagree with you there. I think there are. I think they have.
Energy thing a whole lot more than
I think they have a certain amount of self-awareness, but I don't think it's enough to bring into manifestation the same things that we can.
No.
Otherwise, this would be a world of cats, or it would be a world of dogs,
Right.
or that kind of thing. I think there's a reason why this is a world of humans.
Right. I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So that's all I was trying to say there. All right.
I agree.
So then it says, mind in itself is believed to be a subtle form of static energy, from which arises the activities called thought,
Okay. I can agree.
which is the dynamic phase of mind.
So when our
So I think this is saying we've got a static frame of mind and a dynamic one.
Still, and then when a thought comes up, it puts that mind into action.
Into an action, or an active state.
The energy goes out and it makes a thought.
So for me, this is like a dormant state and an active state.
And it
they're
goes
calling
along
it-
with what we were talking about, where God is the static energy, and we are the expression or the thought of God.
So we
That's pretty cool.
maybe are the dynamic.
Yeah, because we take
Part
the
of God.
action.
Okay, let's explore
That
this a
works.
little further. Mind is static energy. Thought is dynamic energy. The two phases of the same thing. I can wrap my head around that,
Right.
can you?
Yeah, and thinking of it as God and us,
Mhm.
that really brings it home for me.
Or you brought up probably several months ago about water having different states. You know,
Right.
when we think of water, it can be liquid and it can be solid in form of ice. It can be gas. You know, so it's got different states, but it's still the same thing.
Right.
So we're talking about the same thing here, that our mind is static, both static and dynamic,
Right.
depending on which phase it's in.
Right.
Okay.
So if you think about water for a minute, then water in its liquid form is more of a static,
More of a static.
and then the steam would become more of the dynamic.
Dynamic. Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So then it's saying, thought is therefore the vibratory force formed by converting static mind into dynamic mind.
Okay. So it creates a vibration when it changes from a static to
A dynamic.
a dynamic.
And we call that a thought.
makes sense to me. So it's the same substance.
Mm-hmm.
It just changes from being still to moving.
So in the process of it, from it being still to moving, that's where you get the formation of the thought.
That's pretty cool.
That's mind-blowing stuff, Larry.
It is. It's good stuff.
It's a good thought.
Shrink.
Shrink.